tengo que estudiar, debes descansar, hay que tener paciencia. And all three can mean something like you have to. So why does Spanish need three different structures? One, amigas y amigos, welcome back. This is Profe Juan, and by the end of this video, you'll understand the difference between tener que, deber, and hay que, when native speakers use each one, and how to talk about obligation naturally in Spanish. And I always tell you this is not about complicated grammar. This is how Spanish works. And many learners discovered tengo que estudiar and assume that's all they need. But then you hear debes estudiar or hay que estudiar. And suddenly the question becomes like, what's the real difference? Well, I have good news for you. All three share a similar idea, but they don't feel the same. Let me remind you something first. All three structures talk about obligation, something that should happen, something that needs to happen, something that's necessary. The difference is who the obligation belongs to, and that's pretty much the key. The big idea is this one. Tener que is a specific person has an obligation. Deber is an advice or a duty or basically an obligation, okay? And hay que, attention, because it's a general obligation for everyone, not just for you. Let's see how this works. Let's start with tener que, and look at this. Tengo que estudiar. Of course, I know you're familiar with the verb tener, to have. So, tengo que estudiar, I have to study. The obligation belongs to me. It's pretty much like the one in English, right? I have to. Tenemos que salir. We have to leave. Tienes que trabajar mañana. You have to work tomorrow. Tiene que llamar a su madre. He has to call his mother. It's his obligation. And this is probably the most common way to express obligation in Spanish. The responsibility is attached to a specific person. But Spanish doesn't always want to sound that direct, and you know what I mean. Let's talk about the verb deber. And look at this. Debes descansar. You should rest. In this case, this verb expresses this, what you have as a model verb, this should thing. Or you ought to rest. This often sounds softer than tienes que descansar. Deber is more, again, like a moral duty. See? Like, hey, maybe you don't have to, but you should. See? Debes dormir más. You should sleep more. Maybe you work like hours and you go to sleep at 3 a.m. and wake up every morning at 7. I don't know. But, hey, deberías, you should rest. ¿No? Debemos practicar todos los días español. We should practice Spanish every day. You don't have to. It's not your responsibility, but it's something that would be good. Deberías hablar con él. You should talk to him. Notice the feeling. This often sounds like advice, recommendation, suggestion. Again, this is not a strict obligation. And now let's remove the person completely because we're going to talk about hay que. And probably you're familiar with this hay from the verb haber, that without the que, it demonstrates existence. No? Hay gente, hay agua, I don't know. But look at this. Hay que estudiar. One of the most common expressions in Spanish. But who has to study? Nobody specific. Or maybe everybody. And that's the point. Hay que trabajar duro. You have to work hard. But who have to work hard? Just you? No. It's the general rule for life. You have to work hard. And that's beautiful. You see it? Again, the verb haber by itself, hay, demonstrates existence. I plus relative pronoun que is a general responsibility, obligation. Again, not for you, not for me, for both of us. Hay que tener paciencia. You have to be patient. Who? You? Me? Yeah, both. In general, life, you have to be patient. Hay que practicar mucho. You have to practice a lot. And this structure talks about general necessities. The speaker isn't pointing at anyone. They're talking about life in general. Look, let's put this side by side. Look at this. Tengo que estudiar. I have to study. It's my obligation. I have a test. Debo estudiar. I should study. It's my responsibility or a good recommendation. Like, debo estudiar. Maybe it's not mandatory because I have a leverage. I don't know. Hay que estudiar. People need to study. It's a general truth. It's a general necessity. It's the same topic, but with different perspectives. But the big question is, which one should you use? Because you're like, okay, Juan, I have different options, but now what? Let me give you a fun fact with the last one. Hay que estudiar, and this is something interesting, it's not hooked, it's not attached with a specific person. That's what is more impersonal. Hay que estudiar. Hay que portarse bien. Hay que lavarse las manos. Wash your hands. You know, it's not about me. It's not about you. It's in general. That's why the structure is impersonal. The key question is, who does the obligation belong to? A specific person. Use tener que. A general advice. Use deber. Everyone use hay que. But now it's your turn. Write one sentence using tener que, deber, or hay que. Your choice. Okay? One sentence is more than enough. I'll make sure to read it, correct it, comment, give you a thumbs up. Hey, if this helped you understand how Spanish talks about obligation, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next lesson. Ciao!